What's up, guys? Jeff here with Godbolt Exotics. What's up, guys? Jeff here with Godbolt Exotics. As I told you a couple episodes ago, probably 2 weeks, I was going to have a. What's up, guys? Jeff here with Godbolt Exotics. As I told you guys 2 weeks ago with the Redline Science / Redline Shipping, I was going to have a part 2 episode because I was waiting on a box. Well, that box has arrived, and I'm pretty sure I know what it is. I think it's a cage, which I'm super excited about. I'm pretty stoked about this cage because I've heard nothing but great things about it from Robin and from a lot of other folks that have tried them out. So I'm going to put it together. I'm going to tweak it out and get it ready for some Amazon tree boas, and you guys can tell me what you think. I'll also offer my first impressions as well. Let's get this thing put together. All right, guys. So first impressions with the Redline cage. I guess I'll start with the first thing that everybody thinks about, myself included, and that's price point. When you factor in the size of the cage, it is an arboreal enclosure, and it's not as big as some of the other cages out there, but for anything excluding a large species of snake, when I say large, I mean like 8 feet, you can get away with this cage. And I'm talking Amazon tree boas, green tree pythons, probably caninus, the northern emeralds, any of the Candoya species, a lot of the Asian rat snakes. Now, I'm not talking like blue beauties or anything like that, but some of these smaller like cave dweller rats, some of the smaller species of snakes, probably like rough scale pythons. I'm trying to think right off the top of my head. There are several species out there that cover python, boa, colubrid, that you can get away with housing an animal, an adult, in that size enclosure. I believe the size is 26 inches wide by 16 inches deep by 20 inches tall, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously, some of the dwarf monitors, you could probably get away with housing like a Gillini in there. You could get away with a lot of the gecko species, housing them in there. So like it covers a pretty wide gambit of reptiles that you could put in that enclosure. It does have, well, let me not get ahead of myself. So yes, price point, I feel like it's pretty solid. Competitive with other cage manufacturers out there. So first thing right off the rip is it's not a outrageous price. It's not more expensive than everybody else. So as far as price point goes, I feel like it's pretty competitive. Let's move on to functionality. Functionality is something that everybody's concerned with. There are a lot of customizable features with this cage. Well, not a lot, but there are some customizable features with this cage, at least the ones that matter, that are great. So you're not going to sacrifice the animal's husbandry or anything like that. You're not going to sacrifice functionality because of some feature that's kind of cool, but not necessarily made with reptiles in mind. You know, if you guys kind of know where I'm going with that. So as far as functionality goes, it's great. So like for the top, you can have a screen top or you can have a glass top. They actually sell everything to do that. And if you don't want to buy it from them, you can have it made by somebody locally. I will say that the screen tops that come with these cages are a couple notches above any screen top you're gonna find with any cage. That includes pretty much anyone except, I believe, Vision cages have kind of a similar, I guess, quality of screen when it comes to that particular cage. But it's very, very sturdy, very thick, very solid. It's not going to tear. It's not going to rip. It's a high grade, thick thread, a screen top. So I actually have mine set up with the screen top, as you guys can tell from the video. So I really like it. I don't know a lot about screen and corrugated, you know, whatever. You guys that work in construction may have a better a better tab on what the actual name for the screen is. But in my opinion, from all the different types of cages that I've used, and I've used a lot of them out there over the years, I feel like this is like the nicest screen top that you can get. It's much nicer than anything that Exoterra, Zoom Ed, or Zilla puts out. It's much nicer than any of the tops you're gonna get from Boas Cages. It's much nicer than the screen that is used in like Animal Plastics. So you're getting a really, really high grade screen top with this cage, if that's the route you wanna go. If you wanna go the route of, because you want more humidity and stuff in there, then you can go the route of getting the glass that slides right under the, if you guys, so when you guys look back, go back and watch again the part where I'm screwing in the tops to cover the screen. There's actually those little black pegs that hold the screen top in. There's actually, sorry, I'm swatting away mosquitoes. It's actually it's double-sided with more of a recess if you want to flip it over and use the glass. So the way that those little tabs are is they have a recess on the top and the bottom where the screw goes in. One of them is thicker than the other. So one of them is a thinner recess for the screen top, and it also has a thicker recess if you want to flip it over and use it the other way around. You guys can kind of, hopefully you get a kind of an idea what I'm talking about. So you can use that if you want to use, if you want to add your own, you know, if you want to add glass. From the video, it may look and seem as though there are no vents in the cage. Actually, there are. So there's that little piece that the glass doors sit on. Well, on the side of each cage, it's actually hollow in there. And there's several pre-cut holes on both sides where that little box is. And what happens is it lets air go straight through. You go through straight through one side to the other. But there's also, like right where the track is for the glass doors, there's holes cut all the way down. So it essentially, the air can go through and it can circulate up through the cage. And also, there's also the screen top. So that's what I really like. Let's see what else. As far as like aesthetics, the actual like cage is pretty slick. Like it's got it's kind of shiny. It's got like a gloss finish, and it's customizable, which that's probably the feature everybody knows right off the gate, is you can flip every panel how you want to totally customize it between some form of a white or a black cage. You can make it all black, all white, or you can make it mix in between, which is kind of what I did. Now, the reason I did the combination of white and black that I did based on the panel placement is I felt like the animals would probably show up better on the inside of the cage, so I used white. But all my cages in my room are black already, so I went with black on the outside to match that part of my room. But also I feel like, you know, when I'm out moving stuff around, I might ding the side of it, or I'm resting stuff on top of it or something like that. I feel like the black will hide the dirt a little bit better. If your room's anything like mine, like I have an AC unit in mine, so sometimes there gets like dust and stuff inside the room, and some of that dust settles on the black cages, which hides the dust a little bit better than the white color. Now I go through and I clean it and stuff, you know, routinely, but you know, I'm not in there like every week, like dusting all my cages down. So as far as that goes, aesthetics, let's see what else. That's pretty much it. Like the cage is solid. Like I've got it set up. You know, I'm sure temps aren't an issue. I mean, it's the same material that's pretty much used throughout the industry. So it's not like it's some material that's never been used for reptiles before. So anyway, like, those are my thoughts, just quick, like, having not had the cage in use for a long time. I've had it in use for just a couple days, and it seems to be, from first impressions, a really, really cool product that is affordable and competitive with the competition. And Robin Marklin is a really cool dude, and he cares about his name and whatever has his name on it. So the distributors that are listed on the Redline site, that's how you'll be able to get the cages, through them. And they're all pretty reputable people. So he's not, you know, he doesn't have Joe Schmo that nobody's ever heard of, you know, selling his cages. I think he does have some other sizes down the line. I think maybe he's, I don't quote me on this, I'm not quite sure, but I think he has a terrestrial size that he's going to put out, maybe a different arboreal size. But I'm really happy with it. I plan on getting more of them. Truth be told, I'd like to have them for like most, if not all, of my arboreals. I like it that much. Again, I haven't used it for a long time, so I'm not speaking from like years of use, but just from what I've seen so far, I can already tell it's gonna work, and I like it. So Robin, if you want to send me more of them, or you're welcome to, but I really like it, and I hope to use more of them here in the future. And it'd be nice to have a whole wall of those cages. So if you guys are looking for a new cage, I would definitely consider Redline. I think that it can hang with the best of them. Anyway, guys, if you are interested in purchasing a cage or something from Robin from Redline, I'll put a link in the description. As always, like, subscribe, and thanks for watching. See you guys next Saturday. All right, peace.